move on to the second thing that we need to do to be successful or to achieve peak performance or high performance or achieve any goal regardless of what area of our life that it's in, okay? So, and that is managing the day-to-day. I don't care what it is, you've got to manage the day-to-day. It's executing, it's showing up, right? And from a business perspective, that's pretty obvious, you know? But it's also in terms of our family and personal goals and less, you know, businessy or structured goals. We still need to manage those day-to-day things. So what does that look like in terms of the masculine? Well, in terms of the masculine, it is our to-do list, it's our daily priorities, and it's our scheduling. It's all the stuff that I absolutely love. I'm just gonna put my laptop away because it's dead anyway, so there's no help. It's all those really structured things that we need to do, you know? And when it comes to business, this is no surprise to us, okay? So businesses do it. Obviously, we have flow charts, you know, we know exactly what we're supposed to be doing when, you know, we run our tight ship. Okay, all of that really makes sense, and you have to have it. So if that's the day-to-day, and that's the masculine, then can you even be too masculine? Why do we need the feminine, you know, in there at all, since it's all about free flowing and stuff? If we have shit to do, why would we want that free flowing and pivoting nature of things when, you know, if I continue to just keep sticking to my schedule and my day-to-day, then wouldn't that, you know, kind of guarantee my success? And the answer is no. Okay, it's very retro perspective. So from like in the 80s, we had this idea that we like need to work really hard, we need to work crazy hours, and we didn't really take into account well-being, and, you know, work-life balance. Even though I don't believe in work-life balance, I believe in work-life harmony. We weren't really aware of these things, so we kind of believe that, you know, I say we, I was born in the 80s, but we believed that if I worked 5 hours, working 5 hours is good, working 12 hours has to be, you know, more than twice as good. So, and it wasn't until we really started researching, you know, well-being and rest, and that rest actually does play a very important role in how we show up and how we perform. And so we no longer have this, you know, very rigid and archaic belief that the more you do, the more you succeed. Because there's a law of diminishing returns. If I'm working for 4 hours and I'm very, very efficient, the next 4 hours I'm probably not going to be as efficient, and then the next 4 hours I'm definitely not going to be as effective as I was the first 4 hours. So that's why we, you know, we put breaks in there. And I remember in my office we used to say, like, I'm gonna look at this with fresh eyes. Why? Because sometimes when we get so caught up in our work, sometimes we do need to step away and get a fresh perspective. Now, I'm talking about this from a business perspective, but this is also true for your personal goals. For example, if you are a parent and your goals and your vision is around raising a particular type of household, whatever it may be for you, doing the day-to-day tasks is, you know, like maybe managing your finances, you know, making sure your kids go to these class, that class, make sure you're packing these lunches, make sure they're eating healthy, make sure, so all these things. But even though that is your personal life and that is your family and all that, you also still need a break, right? This is the concept of filling up the cup for women, you know, and for everyone, but it's really been a trend with women in terms of, like, yes, you are a parent, yes, you are a mother, yes, you need to serve, but you cannot pour from an empty cup. So you need to take care of yourself. So when we're looking at the day-to-day masculine, it is about having the structure, the commitment, the focus, the target of these are my priorities and I'm going to execute on them. When we tie the feminine into the day-to-day, it is following our emotion, following flow, allowing ourselves to pivot. So what do I mean by that? Okay, why would we do that? Okay, so we're human. We're human. And no matter how great of a parent you are, or how great of an employee or business owner you are, you have a point where things are not working out, it's not going as planned, shit's just hitting the fan. What do you do? What do you do? There are times when you will be very motivated and very inspired around your vision, and then there will be times when you are not. So being too much in the masculine is about being overly rigid to the point of burnout, and that's not success either, because we know that people that burn out is like, that's not sustainable. Yeah, you might have awesome performance for a couple of years, but then if you're gonna freaking be on antidepressants and have severe anxiety and have a heart attack, well then, if you value your outward success so much, how are you going to be successful moving forward when you've done this to yourself, right? So being too much in the feminine, being too much in the masculine is being overly rigid and being like, if I don't do these things, I'm a fucking failure. And I have been there. Like I'm very, very structured person, and I'm very, very like organized, and I love my to-dos because it keeps me inspired and it keeps like I know what's happening and all of that. But being so much to that is not listening to your body, that you need rest, for example, and deciding to work, and you keep working. Remember what I said is that the means never justifies the ends never justifies the means. So if you are like toxic and you're like raging on everyone, and you're like having like you're being rude to your partner, and you're being rude to your employees, and you're treating your kids like crap, then that's not high performance. That's not success. We want holistic success. We want to win in all areas of our lives. And the way we do that is to make sure that we don't overly, we're not overly in the masculine to the point of burnout, to the point of no longer receiving inspiration. Remember, logic, masculine, can only, as Einstein said, take you from A to B. Imagination, feminine, will take you everywhere. Why? Because when you're in the feminine, you are in the receiving mode. You are in a state of receiving. So now I am receiving the information. I am receiving what I need to do, what my next best step is. If I'm so caught up in my what I need to do, then I'm not open to that inspiration. It's similar to what we were talking about with the vision. Okay. So that is like kind of, people are more like inclined to think you need to be in your masculine, but where we have a lot of issues, a lot of us, males and females, is we tend to be too much in our feminine. So our feminine in terms of the day-to-day is following your emotions, following your intuition. It is having the insight and having being tapped in with yourself enough to know that there's a level of resistance to your work or to what you're doing, and it's causing friction, it's causing tension within you, and you can feel it in your body physiologically. And so being in the feminine, you honor that. You honor that. You don't push through that. The masculine pushes through, the feminine honors and will step away. And also, like be free flowing, so being open to inspiration. So yes, having this structure, but also being like spontaneous enough to allow a little bit of other enjoyment to come in. I know as a mother, for example, I'll give you an example. Sometimes I have such a rigid, like, oh, this is what I'm doing with my daughter, this needs to happen. And then sometimes our best days are the days where like I don't do anything on that list, and I've done something completely different, and we've had so much fun, and it's been so enjoyable. Being too much in the feminine is being like, I feel out of alignment, I can't do my work, I'm not inspired. Trust me, I've been there. I'm just not gonna do it. I'm gonna wait for my inspiration to come, right? Men do this too, okay? Men do this too. So being overly in the feminine is like being like a distracted little child, a kind of like, I'm doing this work, but oh, that looks cool, I'm gonna go do that. And oh, I feel called to do this or do that. Like, there's an element of both. I'm not mocking, and I don't want to make it like undermine that, because you have to have a level of feminine energy in your day to day to make your like work most effective, to make it flow, to actually be your most productive. You do need both energies. But being overly in the feminine is like, I feel like shit, getting caught up in your emotions. That's what it is. Honestly, it's being victim to your emotions rather than having the emotional intelligence and the emotional masteries to overcome your emotions, to work with your emotions, to still get the desired outcome. This is why I specifically do the work that I do, and why we go into this so deeply in the 8-week program, because emotional intelligence is everything. Either your emotions will control you or you control your emotions. There's no like in between. It's like, are you the master or is it your master? Right? So being too much in the feminine is like not having control of your emotions. Like, oh, like just had a breakup, I'm just not gonna do anything this week. It's like, you know, like, or I've got really bad cramps and I just can't. I can't create right now. Okay, all these things is too, like, it's too much in the feminine if it prevents you from moving forward with what you need to do. I want to make a very important point in this. I am not saying that when your body is telling you to take a break, don't take a break. I'm not saying when your heart is hurting, don't heal it. Or when you're feeling like you need to release emotions, you need to release emotions, but there's work you can do around that. So where's the balance? How do we know? How do we know? This is like honestly the most important thing, that if you can balance these two energies in your day to day, you will fucking crush it at anything you decide to do. And it starts with your awareness. We need to be fucking aware whether we're in our masculine or when we're in our feminine. Are we leaning too much on one or the other? Are we using them as excuses, right? Okay. So what my perspective is that you need the structure of the masculine, right? Men and women, you need the structure of the masculine. So you have your goals, you have your priorities, you have your schedule, you have it there. You have it there. It gives you a guideline, it gives you a framework on which to work from. But then you also follow your intuition. You also follow your intuition. I will give you an example of myself, and I don't know if it's super relevant, but this is just an example that has kind of worked for me. So, like, when I'm creating content, I need to be in an inspired place, or it doesn't happen. Because I truly believe that I'm channeling, and I feel like half of the time when I'm talking, it's not even me that's talking. So if I'm not in a receptive mode, like I'm gonna, like it can't happen. I'm gonna fuck it up. Like it cannot happen, right? So it's so important for me to be in that state. So like, let's say for example, today I had chunked, you know, between this time and this time I need to create content. Well, what if I'm feeling really funky? What if I'm like dealing with something right now, like emotionally or whatever, and I'm just like feeling really, really uninspired? Well, my suggestion would be step away from it. Step away from it and do something. And this is the key, guys. This is the key. Do something that will get you back into that state so you can focus and honor your priorities. When you don't honor your priorities, you are lowering your level of self-confidence. All self-confidence is you've just like committed to yourself, you followed through, you keep your word, so you respect yourself and like, fuck, I'm a confident person because like I followed through, right? So you want to honor yourself. You want to make your word mean something. Like you set that schedule there with the intention because you thought that schedule was going to make you the most effective person you could be that day. So don't just throw it away because you're feeling off. So if I'm feeling off, I will not create content, but I will try to do something else. If I cannot gain traction on the other thing, remember, see that? I tried to do something else. I didn't just like decide I was gonna eat ice cream and just give myself the day. No, fuck that, right? I tried to do something else. Okay, can I work on something else? Can I work on maybe strategy more in the masculine? I don't necessarily need to be in the receiving mode. Can I maybe be in the masculine and do some strategy? Oh, that's not working too, that's getting resistance. Okay. Then, if you've tried something else and it's not working and you're still feeling off, then it is your responsibility to do something that's gonna get you back into your flow state. That might be just to take a break and do a quick meditation. It might be to go for a quick walk. It might be to do a stretching meditation. It might be to listen to a podcast. It might be to have a hot shower. Hot shower is a big one for me. But, and here's the key to the key, is with the intention. Your intention is everything. You're not just going for a fucking walk. You're not just having a hot shower. You are not just doing a stretching meditation. You are intending to do this activity so that you can get back to your flow state, to honor your commitment that you made to yourself, because you are fucking worth it, of that day that you created that was gonna be perfect, and you're fucking worth the vision that you set for yourself. So when I get in the shower, if I need to take a shower because I'm like feeling like off, like the intention is like I go in like imagining that the shower is like cleansing me of like my negative energy or negative emotion, or I'm releasing or whatever it needs to be. But I'm setting the intention that, Mars, I'm doing this right now so that I can get back on into flow state, so I can do the work that I committed to doing because I love you and I honor you. Feeling off is not an excuse to not pursue your goals. Does that make sense? I want to say that with a very with the understanding that a lot of the work that I teach is around self-love and honoring, and then true self-love, not the superficial shit. Like honoring yourself and honoring your journey and honoring where you are, and looking at your emotions and healing those emotions, and rapid emotional ascension and all these things that I work with like one-on-one with my clients. It's to do that deep work of honoring yourself, but do not use your emotions as an excuse to not pursue what you were. I don't want to say pursue your goals, because that's not it. I want to call it honoring, because I feel like that's what it is. Because you set a vision that you were so excited about, and you got emotionally attached to that, and you're like, wow, emotionally invested, not attached, invested. And you're excited and you're worthy of it and you know it, and now you've got this plan and you're working towards it. Okay, now you've presented with this beautiful new day to work towards that goal of being that best, company, or that best employer, that best parent, or whatever it is, and you've set that day. Do not let your fears and your emotions and the actions of others and temporary feelings and temporary energy and all of that, do not let that take you away from honoring who you are, honoring that person that you are embodying right now. Don't let something external of you be in control of your life like that. Do not be a victim to your emotions. Use both your feminine and masculine energy. So you want to use your masculine energy as your foundation, as your structure, as your guideline, as your framework, and then you want to infuse that with the feminine flow. You want to be open to inspiration. You want to honor your emotions. If you're feeling off, step away from your work. Set the intention that I'm going to go for a walk right now, and when I come back, I'm going to feel inspired. That intention is so powerful. If you can set that intention when you're doing that, trust me, it is a game changer. So honor your day today. Your day today, the best thing I can leave you with is what Robin Sharma says. It's like, your day is your life in miniature. No day is insignificant. So honor yourself. honor your word. Raise your self-confidence by following through on the commitments that you've made to yourself.